welcome back to another Wrestle Purist pre-Dynamite live stream. And yeah, man, we're going to be here for the next just under 90 minutes, and we're gonna lead you into AEW Dynamite. We're also going to talk, just the latest topics, latest news, all that kind of good stuff like we usually do. And yeah, man, we're going to get rocking. But first things first, please like, subscribe, super chat, all those good things. We always appreciate them. And I'm going to go around and see how my co-hosts are doing today. Starting with Big AO, back on the Wednesdays. How are you doing today?
I've had better days.
I've had better days.
I can't lie to you. I've had better days. Tonight, the promotion that I once loved, known as All Elite Wrestling, has been caught and compromised to a permanent end. So I just want to say thank everybody who's supported me in my content creation endeavors. Never thought I'd be a wrestling content creator, but here I am. Follow me on this journey to being an all Puro account. We're going to get into a lot of All Japan. You feel me? You're going to get into a lot of Noah. Best of Super Juniors has been the best it's been in years. Yes. And it's going crazy. Let's do it, man. American wrestling is dead.
Oh, come on, man. Just one announcement, and a certain someone that you're not the biggest fan of is coming back. But look on the bright side, AO. We've got the Elite and BCC. They're cooking right now, man. There's a bright side to AEW. You can pull through.
The Elite with me. We're going up north
to All Japan.
We're going up.
Yeah, man. Good
After
stuff.
Kenny hits a one-wing angel. Jumbo! Towie!
It's good as an animal, man. It's good stuff. But, Charlie, how are you doing? The star of the platform at the moment, if I might say myself.
Shout out to Charlie.
It's been a bit of a wild week because that dropped on Saturday, and that was just that took over Twitter for a little bit, which was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Very thankful that did as well as it did. Working on that while still trying to finish all of my uni work was stressful, but it was so worth it. It was so good. But yeah, very happy that did as well as it did, and I've been doing all right.
Well, I hope it didn't get too in the way of your uni work, because I know you've had your head down with that lately. So, yes. But it was absolutely worth it. Those of you who, if you follow us on Twitter, I'm sure you saw Charlie's Christopher Daniels feature that dropped on Saturday afternoon. So if you haven't seen that, then you need to see it, because it was. Like I said, I was saying yesterday as well. It was one of those things that was it reached out to so many people, and so many people in the business are happy to see it and see Christopher Daniels get his flowers and stuff. But it genuinely became a topic, a topic of the day on the timeline and stuff. So
the amount of people in the business that went out of their way to compliment just Chuck's work in general, forget her writing about their friend, that was really inspiring. Shout out to Chuck. I know a lot of people in Wrestle Purists was y'all gotta do more for the platform and shit. Not me, man. I'm just gonna keep screaming at y'all on Discord. But shout out to y'all. Now I'm gonna write something eventually, but my work schedule was insane.
One day
I'm gonna write something.
Yeah, man. But yeah, shout out Charlie, and shout out Christopher Daniels, and shout out everyone who added comments, and yeah, man, it was really good stuff. Of course, throwing it lastly to the veteran, the Hull, but he's just dropped his weekly review. You need to read that as well. We've got some good writing going on at the minute, man. I'm telling you. I know the British wrestling fans get a lot of slander, but I'm telling you, man. So. Yeah, I'm telling you. Some good writers. Some good writers, mate. Oh, hold on.
Monty's slanders,
I'm
gonna say deserved, but you know.
Yeah.
Unproblematic.
If you just follow Monty on Twitter, he doesn't seem that British. But if you text with Monty about professional wrestling, he's very, very British. It is what it is.
What is it?
You know what
Not
I mean?
just any old.
Come on.
Just take all his melanin, age him up by 50 years. You're just a 70-year-old British wrestling fan, bro. That's nasty.
Oh man, how you doing, Joe? Man,
I gotta be honest,
how's it
mate.
going?
I'm terribly uncomfortable right now. I got this new setup going, and I
It's been
just
a whole
feel,
thing.
bro. Honestly, I don't feel comfortable. I feel like I'm being held hostage or something.
Oh
You know, like
no.
I'm sort of pinned. The camera's staring over me, but I suppose I should look at the camera as I am now. But then it looks like I'm looking at the stars a little bit or the sky, you know, and that seems wrong. So I'm sort of looking at myself. It's a real thing. I'm really struggling with it, to be honest. There's a lot going on, you know. There's just a lot.
Still
I'm not comfortable with
adjusting.
it, and I should be. It's just, I just don't know what I'm doing right now, to be honest with you, folks. And I hope that this technical difficulties I've suffered the last couple of days. Monty has got a few texts about them. I
You
hope
do
they do
get
not.
very scared. You do.
Yeah, it's just a lot. Again, look at my eyes now. Where am I looking? I don't know. I'm looking at myself on the screen. I should be looking. Anyway, I'm good.
What was the text? Where was it?
I unbooked myself from these shows.
Full disclosure. Here it is. Full disclosure, I may be out of action this week. My new fancy PC arrived and it's kicking the shit out of me.
So I got everything set up, and I did put my mic in, and that was the one thing I was confident would be fine, right? Like, it's a new mic. I got it last week. Did not at all recognize this microphone. I felt like the whole day trying. Anyway, here I am, folks. Never mind. We'll talk about wrestling now.
We made it, you know. We made it.
We did. We made it.
Let's talk about this Dynamite, man. Let's talk about this Dynamite to start things off, and we'll see what comes of it as we work our way through it. So just as I'm pulling it up, got it up right now. I don't know where I want to start. Let's start with. I'm not going to start with the Tony Khan announcement. That's lazy. You know, it's too easy. We'll hear from all four pillars.
Uh-oh. That was my reaction when that graphic came up. Uh-oh.
Good first topic then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no.
What do we think? What do we think we're cooking? Do we think it's going to be like an in-ring segment? Do you think it's going to be like something that weaves throughout the show? Do we think it's going to be, like if you had to, gun to your head, you have to guess what is Tony Khan cooking right now?
I mean, it's probably going to be live. I will say that I've enjoyed. I mean, we talked about this every Thursday. I do think they've done a better job the last few weeks. Actually, since the last big live promo, I think it's been pretty good stuff. I've enjoyed it. If it is live, we'll see. We'll let it play out. I think they'd be well served to do something with Renee as an interviewer and kind of do a sit down deal. But I would expect them to do a live segment. So we'll see.
Max loves his live promos and stuff, don't he? Charlie, you got any guesses? Because we all know how much you love MJF and his long promos.
Oh yeah, the whole 20 minutes is going to be great. My favorite part of the show always. I would prefer if it's just like a series of like interviews with Renee, like Joe was saying. Like, it's just going to be awkward if they just like all four of them come out into the ring together, like, and just have a chat. Like, it's just an awkward setup to do it. And there's no point doing like the interrupting because they did that already and it didn't work that great. I don't know. I just hope it goes well for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a very interesting choice if we get a live promo and they all stand in the ring and tell us how they're not supposed to be there. And MJF is just kind of like, well, fucking owned,
everyone does the deal where they point like this and go, "The boys in the back," and it's like, oh fuck. Someone reads the Observer, I hate that. Like, you ask them, you ask the boys in the back. It's like, what? I don't want to ask the boys. I don't work there, man. What do you want from me? I'm just here as a fan.
We don't need another in-ring segment from them. And a brawl would be cool, but I'm not really trying to hear them talk for 20 minutes.
I would like to see like a big,
I think we can all agree that
brawl,
wherever we're at on this program individually, I think we can all agree that they could do with this being like a smash hit segment, right? I mean, a lot of attention is beyond Double or Nothing, but that doesn't mean that these fellas in particular don't need this to be a massive triumph. And I think, again, I've liked pieces of it. Exactly, I've liked pieces of it, but the numbers would suggest they really need this one to hit. So hopefully they got something up their sleeve.
Yeah, man. Get some tickets moving, I just think it's been it was always going to be an uphill struggle to make it believable that MJF even has a slight chance of dropping the belt, know. And to be honest, I don't think they've really climbed that hill. So
I got a question for y'all.
Go on.
let's say hypothetically there was plans for when MJF does drop the title for good, it goes to one of these three. Do you think their performance in this feud has shifted those plans?
I don't know. It's difficult. I guess it depends on what your expectations for each guy was going in, right? I think a lot of this disconnect that we've kind of experienced with this program has been that the guy who is booking it sees the pillars differently than some of the audience does, particularly the people on the screen, perhaps. So, like, I think some of those guys might be a lot closer to being potential world champion than we may even realize right now.
Right.
I think we all agree on Darby, right? In terms of like, he's not been. I don't think he's been perfect throughout this deal, but he feels the closest to me.
Yeah.
The other two, while I like Jack a lot, I just don't see the guy in that kind of realm right now. I don't know.
What about Sammy?
The Sammy experiment doesn't need the belt.
Yeah.
That's
I
my
love Sammy,
consensus.
There's a place for Sammy. There's
But every time I see that picture of him holding the AEW World title in like an airport or whatever, I'm just like, yeah, you're not there yet, buddy. I'd probably have the same reaction for Jack. I'm disappointed in Darby in this feud. He was never really like, nobody was ever like, oh my god, Darby's promos.
Right.
But people who are fans of Darby, when asked about his promos, they'd always be like, Darby can talk. He just doesn't really have to because of his character. And I think some of the mystique or whatever rubbed off a little bit on these overlong promo segments. He kind of got overexposed, I would say.
Yeah, I think I thought he kind of lost a little bit of the way that he's presented to me. I thought got a little bit lost a couple of times during this deal, specifically when he had that thing where he was like targeting Jack. You know those couple segments where it was like he like made a point of kind of questioning whether or not Jack belonged. And I didn't think it was. I just didn't think at all it was the best kind of presentation or portrayal of him as a character. I don't see why the Darby Allin character would care whether or not Jack Perry scratched and you know what I'm saying? Like it was. So I thought he lost it a little bit on a couple of those. Darby has. It's weird because booking for Darby has been up and down too, right? Like he had a really weird stretch in 2022 for sure, but he also feels the most established because he was the TNT champ in the fall of 2020, right? 20 that range, early 2021.
It was early.
Yeah. So he does feel he just generally feels for everyone. I don't disagree with you. I think they've all got a ways to go, and frankly, as talented as he is, I think we all feel a certain way about MJF in that regard too. Like I think this has kind of shown, how difficult it is to bring others up. I don't think he's quite ready to do that yet. So ways to go.
You've got to be at a very certain level to do what the idea was here with MJF bringing up all three of the other pillars. To like you've already said, Joe. Everyone here, we all like Darby. Quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of him main eventing pay-per-views right now, it's kind of like, even with all three of them, bro, it's just you've got to then bring up all three of them throughout the program. You know what I mean? And like you said, I just don't think. No, that's fine. It doesn't mean MJF is like a huge failure or anything. Obviously, like ideally, your world champion would be like fucking. He could bring up 7 people with him if he needed to. Do you know what I mean? But like, people like that. There isn't many people like that out there at the minute.
It's worth noting genuinely that the way these guys and their careers develop, we may eventually look back on this project as a very worthwhile investment of time. Because if you do believe in these guys as top guys, which we're split on which ones and so on and so forth, but if the guy in charge believes in them, you have to actually invest in them the way he has here. And we'll see if that pays off. We'll see if in 2 years we'll be doing this show and Jack Perry will be the world champion. We don't know, right? But there is a world in which we look back on this program and say, look, it wasn't a home run by any means, but each guy came out of that, they benefited from that experience. And that's why it's always kind of, I think it's hard to be totally dismissive because I appreciate what they've tried to do. It's just, it's had its hurdles.
Yeah, like if Tony believes in them as much as it appears that he does, then it's like you probably do have to do these kind of things. I guess the timing we can debate all day about it, sort of thing.
Right.
Ideally, you'd do this when you're like really rolling and selling out arenas everywhere, you know. But you know, they've done. I guess that's kind of my thing with it, really, is with expecting so much of MJF, or even MJF maybe expecting so much of himself. And I still, like I said it, I think it might have been last week on one of the podcasts. I still think MJF has got a level or two to go to, you know, himself.
Well,
Never
4,
mind.
5, or 6.
Come on.
I don't even need to say it these days. People know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I was just like as much grief as the other 3 pillars have gotten, and a lot of it is deserved. A lot of it is also like just bad faith bullshit or whatever. People acting like they're bums, which is obviously not the case. But as much grief as they've gotten, I don't think MJF has been head and shoulders above them, or just like going out there and exposing them week after week after week. There was that one segment that he kind of saved with the whole Teddy Long bit and shit, right? But other than that, it's just like you look like you belong with them as opposed to levels above them. In my eyes, like, did MJF stand out in the tag match? Did MJF really stand out in any other promo segments other than the Teddy Long shit? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I do think it goes back to Monty's core point about the level he's at, or so. Like, I think he's stood out in like those pre-tapes they do. You know, those ones where like he's gone up to the guys and asked. Like, that's just my. I think he's been very good in those. But I do agree with the idea that there's like an overestimation of where he's currently at in terms of his ability to be the bridge from a guy to go mid-card to main event, right? And I think that's been exposed here. And I don't think that's a huge deal because how old is Max? Like 25? Still,
I
26?
honestly don't either. I just think.
Yeah. But I will say after this, you need to follow up with some like, you know,
Heavy
some
hitters.
all-star stuff, some blockbuster matches.
That's what it should be.
You don't need to
Yeah.
get into who, but you need some big matches after this for sure.
That's just Yeah, that's the thing with him. Like I said, he's not at the stage of like being the bridge of mid card to main event, like you were saying, and you know you got to do the heavy hitters, and that's kind of how I was expecting this reign to go. You know, took the belt off Max, and then it's kind of keep trending in that direction. You went like and make it really feel like he is, you know, and even if someone like a Kenny or a fucking. Who else? Kenny, Brian, you know, who else are the really big names? Hangman, all these other people. You know, if they've got to eat pins, then they've got to eat pins, bro. Like, because if Max is your guy, yeah, if Max is your guy, you gotta like, you know,
Folks, halt the conversation. Chat has got news. We have news in the chat, folks. We have news in the chat. Forget about the pillars. It's over. We have news in the chat, folks. There is news in the chat, Monty. Can we get the news on the screen? It's in the chat. Folks, we got some news. Roderick Strong, Daniel Garcia for the Joe Holbert Invitational World's title tonight, live on Dynamite.
The Joe Invitational title.
Joe's about to turn into fucking...
It's on the graphic, brother.
What Ibu's been doing the past hour.
That's real graps, though, seriously. I can't wait.
Thank God that means that talk sections aren't going to be 20 minutes long each. Because there was only 4 matches on that card. I was just like, are they going to announce something else? But I'm excited.
They can get some. If it was 4, they could get some time too. They may just get some. Let me tell you something, folks.
Tony can't.
Do I sound better now?
You sound better. Yeah, you was a little low before.
Yeah, you shout all the time anyway, so. Yeah,
I actually just
even when you're low, it's
on my mic. What was making me so loud? Like there's a switch. Bro. It's crazy.
Ooh.
It's like overcorrected. That's tremendous.
It's crazy, bro.
Last week, I went live, and it's the first day on my new mic, and I was talking, I was mute, and I was like, "What have I done?" It had an on-off switch. Dipshit took into an off microphone. Nonetheless.
All right, back to the match. Friend of the brand, the homie Daniel Garcia against Roderick Strong, man.
Fucking beast.
This is the shit we dreamed of, man.
Yeah.
I really thought they'd save this for 0 hour. I thought this was going to be on that, but
yeah,
I'll take it on Dynamite.
You can do it again there too, you know.
Yeah,
do it there. We
run
do
it,
it next week.
Run it. Like,
we could do it at Wembley, you know. We do it at the Tokyo Dome.
Wrestling rejected D3 football players and shit. rejected fucking D17 lacrosse players and shit. Meanwhile, real wrestlers like Daniel Garcia, who watched Roddy since he was like 10 years old. They were born. He was born for this moment, man. I'm happy for him. Happy for my friend. I'm happy for me because I get to watch it. You feel me?
Yeah. This is the
Yeah, I hear that. With Garcia as well. As soon as Roddy debuted, like in that angle, it was one of the matches that, like, you know, a lot of the people on screen right now were kind of just waiting for. You know, waiting for this moment of Tony Khan with the "tonight" in all caps and that HD graphic. You know, it's yeah, man, two wrestlers that we all really like. Yeah, so yeah.
Shit,
we can't be much happier.
People over there wanted Roddy wrestling Quincy Elliott for the rest of his life.
Oh,
that's nasty.
No, he did.
Yes, he did, man. He was pushing hard for that Quincy Elliott match.
People don't believe you, man. Like,
as they should, because this is something that definitely happened.
Anyway, we've got a few super chats that have built up, so let's go through them and keep them coming. If you've got any questions to keep us, to keep us going until Dynamite, then much appreciated. But first of all, Custodian, PPJ, 199, Custodian, the real star of Collision, go to sweep.
I'm rooting for you, man.
I personally hope that Brian Pillman Jr. gets tons and tons and tons of TV time every Saturday night.
Absolutely.
Wow.
He might, which is the funniest part about that.
We'll eat it up, man. You know. Well. Showtime Spurs, $10. Appreciate you very much as always, guys. I can't wait for Saturday. So many incredible matchups to look forward to. We get a Texas, Alabama, Ohio State, at Indy and Florida State versus LSU. Not to mention Dion in Boulder. I'm hyped.
Yes, sir. Saturday nights, you know what time it is. Football on, baby. Okay. That's where I'm at with it.
I didn't realize Jim Ross sent us super chats. That's pretty cool. Man.
Go Sooners.
Did you see what he said?
No.
What did he say?
You know, I'm not. So I don't botch it.
Is it something you actually said, or was it a retweet again? Because those are always.
It's something you actually said, bro.
Interesting fella. I imagine Punk texted him on Sunday morning. You know, Punk sent
someone read the next super chat while I pull this up.
All right, come on. Think Ibu needs a sanity check. I'm a Punk guy, but his victory laps on the timeline are, quote, it's non-human.
Nasty,
non-human, hey, my God.
But I have to check in with him.
that screenshot you posted made me cry.
I have to check in with him, bro. Bro, you're right. What are you doing right now?
What he's doing right now is just it's nasty business.
So I've missed most of it. A friend of mine texted me, "What is this Ibu bit?" And I was like, "Well, that feels like a warning not to log on. I'm going to just leave it." I said, "I don't know, man."
I just replied to one of his tweets. I was like, "This is not a cute look. Like, what are we doing here, man?"
Yeah.
God bless him.
I will admit, I have to be honest here. Last week when they had that Collision logo, I may have acted up a little bit. You know, that was that was a little much for me. But I've calmed myself. You have to be a professional in these matters, as you can see, as I've been thus far throughout this program. You know, you don't get worked up too much. You know. Have you got the news, Money? Have you got the quote?
Got it, bro. The news. Jim Ross quote about football.
Have you got the news?
Yeah, man, I got the news. Yeah, Jim Ross, right here, on Grinning JR, he said that he would like to be part of the Saturday Collision crew, even though it would kill his Saturday football.
That sounds like he doesn't want to be part of the Collision crew.
He was like, so we'll figure that out. That's not a big deal. That's the great thing about streaming and all those things. I can watch my ball game. He's a simple man, you know. Oh, good old JR, man. I know a lot of people they've seen enough of him, you know. They've heard enough of him, but he still pops me so much. So.
I love JR, but you know, I've seen enough. Send them over to Saturdays with the rest of the Misfit Toys.
But yeah, appreciate the $5, Jake. Done it as always. We've got SoCar Cam, $5. Appreciate that. I have information that will lead to the compromise and permanent end of wanted terrorist Philip Brooks. That's very spiteful, and I'd question your,
SoCar, send me a DM.
credibility.
We'll collaborate on this one. Send me a DM.
Come on, man. Mario Judah, 499. Always good to see you. Ready to light the fuse, but first, Joe, get ready to light the pose. Show us them UK muscles.
I do respect the persistence on this matter. I'm going to be totally honest in saying that this new look, there is far too much of my lack of physique already on display with this look. Like it's an issue already. So the chances of pose have dropped considerably.
Evenness.
But but I will say again, look, I don't want to put a price on these kind of things because there's some crazy. But these super chats are going to need level up, as we say in the business.
A couple zeros in the end, bro. We said it. We said it last week.
Couple 3 or 4, 5, 6. Something like that.
Heart editing 199. Welcome to the NXT family, AR.
That's nasty.
Hey man, main event last night was cooking.
Shout out to Tiffany Stratton. I don't know what the main event is, but I assume that's it.
That was it.
If the Elite go to WWE, even if they not on Tuesdays, I'm gonna be there, baby. I'm standing up for WWE because of new home of the Elite.
That was a strong statement to make publicly.
Strong statement, People want to hold you. A lot of people in here.
Might have to throw on some, main events. You feel me?
NXT level up.
Some level up on Friday nights? What else is on? Nothing.
Henry Charles Albert David, 199. Appreciate you as always. Joey, on behalf of the Raw family, give a pose.
Okay, so when I said it was considerably less likely, on behalf of the Raw family, that the chances of we've gone go again. It's just not. It's not a thing that's going to be happening around here. I'm sorry to say. So I don't even appreciate it in that case.
Mavs fan 199, appreciate it. Finally, we are getting Brit Rest reviews on WrestlePure Islam.
Oh yeah, I'm here, man. Once the Elite leave, I'm watching Rev Pro. We're gonna talk a whole lot of Ricky Knight Jr. baby. We're gonna talk a whole lot of Robbie X. Yeah.
That was not the name I was expecting. Good show.
Dan Maloney, we out here. Crowns up, all that.
What happened to your boy? Yeah, I was going to say, what happened to your boy Oku?
Oh, yeah.
That's the name I was anticipating.
Yeah, because he's going to be all elite soon. So I didn't want to,
Hey, man. He's beating Great O'Khan for that title in July.
We here.
I should hope so, because it's fucking ridiculous. He's still fucking...
yeah, it's at the July 9th
How long has he
show.
been champ? Like 5 months now?
Yeah, right. It's absolutely ridiculous that he's still British heavyweight champion.
So... Charlie, I don't know if you were there. Was you there when he won the belt?
Yes.
When Great O'Khan? I've never seen anything quite like that. I've never seen a crowd.
Hilarious.
So the crowd just decided around 4 minutes, we don't want to watch this anymore. They just started booing everything. I don't know what was going on. It was incredible.
We didn't have signal in the venue either, so I looked onto Twitter 20 DMs of why the fuck is Great O'Khan champion? It's just look, man, I ain't booking it. I was just here.
He was wrestling, and I was kind of watching it as I watch professional wrestling in person. My arm like this, sort of looking at the work. I'm like, this ain't much good. And I looked around, and people kind of, as a unit, everyone sort of rose there, thinking, what the fuck? What's going on here? Why is this match still going on?
Bro, Monty was popping huge on the timeline. He loved it. You gonna lie and say you weren't?
I just don't get how it's still going.
I thought it was gonna be like a month, 2 tops. I
don't remember loving it, but I'm not here to be confident enough to say what I did.
I thought Ricky was gonna win it back, and then Great O'Khan won again, and I was like, all right.
So I guess he was supposed to win it all along. I guess. Right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
They've got it's got to be because they want Michael Oku to be the one to beat Great O'Khan. That's all it can be at this point,
Yeah.
That's
interesting.
Red Pro do a lot of good stuff, but that top storyline at the moment is just very, very funny.
Interesting stories being told, Showtime Spurs $5. Appreciate you again. With Cody looking to be heading to Saudi with another injury angle, do you guys think they've already run out of ideas for him over there?
Wait, Cody's injured?
No?
No.
He's got he's been beat up by Brock Lesnar a lot, and but, that's what they're doing, isn't it? Brock Lesnar doing the bully shit.
Cody's playbook is definitely better off being simple than it was at the end of his AEW run, where it was like this sort of extravagant motion picture that he was producing every week.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. What I will say is this match feels on a circle in terms of where Cody's at. Obviously, regardless of what happens, he's fine in the big picture. But in terms of him being like this superhero babyface, if he puts Brock down and pins him, that's one thing. If they go the complete opposite way, which I don't think is impossible, and Brock just fucking mows him over, I think that would be a pretty wild deal. So I don't mind the angle, but this weekend definitely feels like a big one in that regard. I don't know.
Okay, I'll type in Cody on Twitter. I see he's got like a sling or whatever. People think that he's going for that whole sympathetic babyface shit, like Helen is saying.
Yeah, the warrior, basically doing what he done at he's
Shout out to Cody Rhodes, man. He got out when the game was good. He knew what time it was. He said, "I'm hitting the road, brother. My time in this territory is done with."
Zayd Nadi 199, second coming of AO Punk. Well,
yeah, more like the second coming of my WWE fandom, nigga.
Here's our heart, $5. I will multiply this by 100 to keep Ibu away from this episode of the pod and tomorrow's too. Okay.
Hey man, you're unbooked.
Yeah, you're out of here. Get out of here. Bro, $5. Just realised with Davis's injury, the Brits are going to get Aussie Open versus FTR again. Shake my head. Yeah, man. We out here. We out here, baby.
Y'all like that first match?
I'm not doing this bit.
That was fine, y'all.
Charlie was crying front row, bro.
Chuck disappointed. I thought I knew you. I thought we were partners in this elite stand together. You go to one match, you see one FTR match live, you start waving your little fucking pom-poms on the timeline.
This is not
Then the next day on the podcast, oh my god, I just loved FTR in its safe, bro. You're dead to me, Chuck.
Listen, this is not what happened. Aussie Open were in that match. And that is my only defense. But Aussie Open were
He was like, oh my goodness, just FTR was just absolutely delectable in that outing.
The accent is delectable. They were delectable.
What happened? I gave them their props for having a good match.
Don't let him do this to you, Charlie.
FTR
It
hurts me to do
3
this.
hours ago about how much I don't think FTR should be champions.
I
right now,
long
so
thought
let's not
Chuck was
do
the
this.
only good Brit. She sees one FTR match live and falls in love.
I did not.
It goes, bro. That's what happens, Top guys,
Get that shit on my face.
Griff 199. DG versus Roddy is gonna have my shirt off. I've won. We've all won, bro.
Shout out to homie Griff.
We deserve this one. We deserve it.
Yes. Absolutely.
David Michael Harwood. Dax Harwood of FTR. $5. Joe, you can't deny votes for your boy Dax the Axe that we see those boys.
Dax, I can do it, mate. I can deny it. I'm gonna tell you that now. I can do it. I can now. Let's see the match on Sunday. Maybe that denial will be a little more hesitant, But for now, I can deny it. It's been a quiet few months on the FTR front, Me and Monty as stands, official stands, registered licensed stands. We've had to lay low, I saw Charlie's thread and I said, I'm going to lay low. I feel we're in a little bit of danger right now. I'm going to soak it up, sit on the ropes, hands high, and eventually, just maybe, we'll be able to rally. But I don't know. Rally's the wrong word.
I'm just going to say what everybody here is scared to say. What Monty's scared to say, what Joe's scared to say, what Chuck's scared to say. FTR fucking sucks, bro.
Oh, come on.
This run is terrible. Yo, why do they have to go? Dax has like 18 different things falling off the bone as we speak. he can't
We've
be
talked
an
about
every
this
week
a lot in
wrestler.
the last couple of days.
He might not be able to ever be an every week wrestler. They don't just make knee cartilage out of thin air. Like that's not something that just heals, right? So maybe that's done with. So why are they the fucking champs, bro? The tag division used to be the work rate division.
Understand it right
I'm
now.
Like
backed up.
on
I'm on the
top,
road.
like everything was a work rate division, but the
my
tag
whole
rate
thing
especially was a
is-
work rate division.
My whole thing is like the state of the tag division right now and the prestige that needs to be brought back to it. I don't think FTR are the team to do it because of the other teams in the division right now and who's available for the matches. They don't mesh well with a lot of them, and they're not really capable of bringing their style down to those teams. And we saw it with like the Gun Club and the Lucha Bros in those matches. I just don't think. And I do think they're objectively a good tag team. They're not to my taste, but I just think, shut up, AO, let me get this point out. I just think right now, they're not the ones that should be the spearhead of the division.
Actually, like, genuinely, because it's an interesting conversation, I actually think there was a lot of truth to your thread. FTR can plug people into their match, but that match has a much lower ceiling than, for the sake of conversation, when the Young Bucks plug people into their match.
Let's talk
also,
about it.
the Bucks have more choice. They have different styles they can go to, right? Like, before we went live, we were talking about their match with Eddie and Moxley. The Young Bucks basically wrestle as a traditional heel tag team in that match. So they do have more strings to their bow, so to speak.
What a fucking
What I
match
would
that
say
was.
is, incredible. What I would say is, I think FTR having an issue leading this division potentially is really just more of an encapsulation of where that division is at right now. That doesn't mean you're wrong. I think we agree on the point. It's just like that we have watched that division slowly get like stripped away, right? Like genuinely, it's in a way different place now than it was a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I will say, I think, and I know they're not the most popular act and they're not the most dynamic act, but like, I think the Kingdom would tear out with FTR. And I don't really get why the Kingdom are kind of living in like Ring of Honor only.
I actually agree with you. The Kingdom would definitely have a good match.
I just don't. Again, I know they're not like this super relevant. You know, like people don't. There's kind of a general perception of them that I think is totally wrong, by the way. That of like, the Kingdom.
Yeah.
But look at the heel teams in AEW. I think they're better than every single one of them. Genuinely, I think they're better than every heel team in that promotion right now.
Probably.
Like full-time teams. Obviously, like Claudio and Yuta could have a good match, obviously, but
they're not a full-time tag team, so I know.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I don't get it.
TK's just so online, and he's just like he saw everybody's like, the fucking Kingdom, the Kingdom. Yeah. Nobody ever had an issue with the Kingdom's tag runs. It was always them getting pushed as singles guys that people were like, all right, I'm not trying to see these people anymore. But when they were tag teams, nobody was like, yo, get these guys off my screen. I'm tired of Taven. I'm tired of Bennett. That was never a thing. They're a great veteran act, and I think they're being underused right now. They're doing great things at Ring of Honor, honestly. But they could. The AEW tag division needs more at this point.
I mean, I don't know if everyone saw the fight without honor last week with the Kingdom and Andretti and Darius. Yes. And it's like, I love the match, but it's just a big part of me. It's like, man, these guys have been doing this on this particular stage for so long. Like, it'd be nice for them to get a real TV run, you know? And
I agree.
It's just, and by contrast, there are other teams who feel refreshed by being in the Ring of Honor saying, it's like, we've seen the Kingdom Ring of Honor. They're great. This see what they can do. I don't need them to be a main event act, but they'd have a really good match with FTR. I think we all agree on that, regardless of where we are on FTR. So, I don't know. I think there's some short-term solutions, but the main point being, circle all the way back and agreeing with Charlie, the division's just in a really rough place right now. It's not where it was, and that's that. So, we'll see.
I don't think that FTR are necessarily going to have a bad run with them. I just don't think they're going to have the run they want to right now. And that's my main point of I don't think they should be the champions right now. I don't think the Acclaimed ever should have lost them because it felt like we were on the cusp of something really special with them, and it kind of felt like they got the rug pulled out from under them. But we'll see what happens.
Everybody in the chat is saying teams that I know me and Charlie have absolutely loved. I don't know about Monty and Joe, but we love Swerving Our Glory. We love the Acclaimed. We're not talking about them. We're just like it's the rest of the division.
So in the Acclaimed thing. Like I get it completely, and I never really understood genuinely. I never understood the hesitation at booking them in FTR again, because I actually thought the first time they wrestled it was like a perfectly enjoyable babyface match. I didn't think the fans would, oh my god, I have to pick. I think it was just a really good time. I loved that match. So I would have rather we run that back rather than doing the guns thing, which I think did more damage than good in the end, pretty clearly so.
I think your boys are scared of getting booed.
Maybe, I don't know. Like, honestly, that may be it. And maybe I'm misremembering it. The crowd, Acclaim were more hot when they had that match in December or whenever it was, November. Yeah. I didn't think it was like, oh my God, this is a destructive that you can't ever do this again.
But the thing is, so the Acclaim were more hot, but like, actually, no, you're right.
No, again, like, I wouldn't argue with the idea they were more over. I just didn't think it was. I think you could run it back, but the guns thing was an issue. But yeah, anyway, let's get back.
Ricky Starks, $2 super chat. Hey, no one posing here but my Ibu. Sorry, Joe. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Ricky.
Amazing.
See, I can't do the accents, but like, when AO's here, you know, he's got you, man. He's a man of the people. Bro, $5. Need Punk to walk out and say he's ready to apologise and explain everything, and then Joe's music hits and Punk never addresses his absence again. Lol. That's popped me. I can't lie. Just because it's Joe, you know. Like, yeah. Joe comes out and cuts one of his just like, you know, he just cuts a Joe promo, which would just be fucking great. And I mean, we all kind of know what that is. So
it's definitely, I think this feud is most suited to Joe if like he doesn't care at all about any of that other stuff that Punk's been on with, you know. Like the idea that Joe's just like, finally, I can punch you in the face again. It's been 20 fucking years. I'm waiting to do this again, you know. Like him being oblivious, because you know that when the Jericho feud happens, they're going to inevitably. Like it's gonna go into like, you know, they're gonna be like scrolling through, you know, Jericho's gonna bring out an observer and wave it in the air and fucking, you know, all of that will happen. But the Joe one, I'd like to just keep it contained because I think that would suit Joe, to be honest. Yeah. So. I think it's fun. Good idea.
Yeah, man. That's a Dynamite, man. It's fucking hell.
Yeah, kind of went on the
tangent. Yeah, it's what we're here to do. You know,
wrestling conversational content there, folks.
I was pulling up Jim Ross quotes.
Yeah,
about Saturday night football. You know,
what's the news, brother?
All right. What else we got? We have a international championship match between Kyle Fletcher.
Sorry, got too excited.
Yeah, Charlie heard Kyle Fletcher and nearly hit the roof. You know. It happens. Yeah, man. Kyle Fletcher's getting a shot at the AEW International title. Of course, Orange Cassidy on like his 27,000th defense. Been a real warrior on this run. I think we say pretty much on every fucking Dynamite review that, you know, Orange Cassidy had a good match this week. It's a real thing right now. So this will probably be the latest one. I'm not sure, but I see Kyle Fletcher as the guy to take it off him.
But we have that Battle Royale for Double or Nothing advertised with only Orange Cassidy on the poster, so
yeah. The writing's kind of on the wall, but I'm still excited nonetheless. This is actually their second singles match. They had a singles match in December of 2018 in like Manchester or something like that, so it'll be very fun to see.
Oh my God.
No, I was not. Manchester in 2018.
Were you a fan
How old is Kyle Fletcher?
Carl is 24.
My goodness, he was like 20 then.
Yeah. That was like not long after he'd come to the UK.
Okay.
So, but I'm excited to see the difference between that one and this one because obviously he's such a different wrestler now. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. He could really do with having like, and I'm sure he will, especially like with Orange Cassidy and how like adaptable he is to everyone. He could obviously with Davis going down, and hopefully like the word is that Mark Davis is only going to be out for like 6 weeks, maybe less. But you know, Kyle Fletcher he's gonna be riding solo for the next 6 weeks or less, or maybe more. Hopefully less though. And if he has a good single showing here, it could lead to other stuff for him, etc., etc., etc. So hopefully he has a really good showing, and I think he's more than capable of it. So. Another good Orange Cassidy. Another good Orange Cassidy international title match. You know, another one. Chris Jericho and Adam Cole doing a contract signing. This could be really good or like weird.
Whatever. I'm expecting it to be really good.
Yeah, it'll be good, I think.
I think
This
it
feud's
should
been
be. Or it could be weird, you know. It's Jericho, man.
I hope
It's just two guys, just two great promos, two promos that are better than CM Punk ever was. Just going out there, blow for blow, trading haymakers. I'm ready for it. I'm hyping myself up for the promo segment now.
Did you see what just said? I was like, I think it's going to be good. And I stood alongside him. I said, I think so too. And he immediately just punched me in the face for it, you know? Immediately. No, I do think it would be a good time. I actually have enjoyed this feud. There's been some nice touches throughout. And obviously, I loved the match last week with Roddy. So I think it's been a pretty good time. It's not like, you know, it's not like this classic deal or anything as of yet. But I think it's been pretty good. And I think, I actually think the result of the match on Sunday is like very much in play. I know a lot of people are just assuming Cole's going to win. I'm not convinced necessarily. Yeah, which I'm not even saying like a bad way. I'm not sure it's a lot.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
it'd be interesting.
Since it's still kind of fresh because we were just talking about it, FTR, we'll hear from them tonight. And man, everything that you just said, and I've not strongly disagreed with any of the criticism, except for maybe some of AO's fucking, few of AO's haymakers were a bit much, but
I think I'll be very fair tonight.
I agree. Very fair.
What I will say is, this feud with Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal,
yes,
I've actually enjoyed it. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's weird. It's not like I'm saying, they're about to have a great reign, but like, I can't say that I've not enjoyed this feud.
This feud has been good TV. I can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what you can ask for.
When Karen Jarrett pulled up, I hope she makes an entrance with them tonight.
Sat down taking big bumps and dressing up on the farm, and it's good time.
I enjoyed this feud. It still felt like 2 hours of tag team, but
I think, Charlie, your thread, because you used the word prestige earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's so much about they won't have good programs. It's that it's not. While I've enjoyed it a lot, I'm aware it's not like a main event attraction on this show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's more the concern. But for what it's been, I mean, I think almost every segment is here, and it's absolute, a lot of it's ridiculous whole shit, and it doesn't really make much if you think about it. Like, but that's wrestling. Yeah, it's wrestling, So I think it's been fun. I've enjoyed it for years, for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, for what it is, I've had a good time with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. So, in the minute they are actually in the middle of doing some good shit, it's just to Charlie's point, it's the prestige when we're talking Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal. It's kind of
like the prestige is a huge thing because it's like during the Young Bucks reign, imagine being like, and their next challenger is Double J and Jay Lethal. It's like, all right, man.
Well,
it felt like the tag belts could be the main event of the show.
Yes.
And the fact that was a thing and Kenny was still champion, like, we're just not at that level with the belts right now, which I think is a shame.
That died long before FTR got the
Oh no, 100%.
It did, but I will say the acclaimed Swerve in Our Glory thing did it was like a kick out, Like it did.
Yeah. It felt like 2022 in the right direction.
Genuinely, after the Bucks lost the belts, the belts have never been at that level again. Yeah, legitimately. They've never been at that level again. There's been some good... I think Swerve and Our Glory were great champs, but the Young Bucks have probably had the best tag title run we've seen in decades. However, last year with the Swerve and Our Glory versus Acclaim deal, it did feel like the belts kind of went back up for a few months there, and then they do feel like mid-card belts now, which... Look, I mean, we have to be honest. That's generally what tag belts are in the States. And, it's not like we, here's what it is.
Yeah.
When the Young Bucks had it, was just like, no, this is the main event. At least it is to us. It's just it's 4 people in this match instead of 1v1.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, if you look at their 2021, even before they turned heel, they had the match with Max and Jericho. Right, which was that was a huge angle on the TV show, Max and Jericho's whole deal, and that was Revolution. Double or Nothing we talked about earlier with Eddie and Moxley. To me, that was the main event of that show, regardless of where it was placed. That was the one I was wanting to watch. All Out, they stole the show with the Lucha Bros in a cage. That definitely felt like a main event caliber match, and that's where they drop them. And if you track it through there, it does change after that. It just does. And to be honest, I think that says most about the Bucks than anything else, but there's been other factors too. And,
yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, going back to the prestige thing, it's like FTR are like the current tag team of the year. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can't really like I get it, you know. Like it's FTR. It's not like there's some, you know. It's just that to the point AO was saying, one of the more serious points AO was making earlier. It's like, you know, Dax's. They've ideally they would have already have had their AEW tag title run amidst the run that they were going on last year when they were just like a fucking force of nature.
That's what I was
Do you know
right
what I
about
mean?
to say. Because like
Yeah.
you saying that they're the current tag team of the year,
Yeah, that's what
it's
I mean.
just like it's not really because of what was going on in AEW television. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Which is
it's
unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. To be clear, you mean like they won the last? They had the reigning.
Yeah, they were
you
last
mean,
year.
right?
Yeah, of course.
Top
I know.
fucking 5 right now. They won last
Yes,
year.
right.
So they're current reigning.
Well, steady.
Aussie
I saw
Open
the chat.
was-
Offended by the statement.
I think
Yeah.
Aussie Open was heads and shoulders above everybody this year.
Yeah.
Which is why it's a good thing Davis only has a knee scope. In football, I've seen people come back from those in 2-3 weeks to up to like 6 weeks, like Monty said. So he shouldn't be out long. He'll be back during the summer. If all things go well and shit. And they can continue their.
I think
run.
he'll be back by July. I'm not sure they'll be on Forbidden Door just because of like if it's the same knee that he like blew his ACL on. I don't think they're gonna rush that back.
Oh no, that's gonna be.
I just hopefully he can come back and they can win that award because otherwise, Monty and I could get a little bit shameless with our We the Ones and our. You know, it could get a little embarrassing. I don't want to have to do it. I don't want to have to do it. Huh?
I was thinking about this. It's like I know people would be like, "Oh, if it's not Aussie Open, it's got to be FTR." It's just like if you look on paper what they've done this year, if you take Aussie Open out of the run-ins, it's got to be the Usos. Like,
I don't. All right,
there's no two ways about it.
For 2023, right? As someone who doesn't watch WWE programming unless it's like a pay-per-view or whatever, why are the Usos above Stenerico?
Because
I would say purely. Sorry, Charlie. I would just say before Mania they were working like semi-regular tag, titles and TV matches.
Oh, were they? Because before, they were just never wrestling. Before.
Yeah,
I think so. I could be. I'm not going to pretend I'm
super
an expert,
active.
so.
Yeah.
Charlie, what was you going to say? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
That's unfortunate.
No, I was basically going to say the same thing. It's just like they've been so central to the program, and like I think it wouldn't be Sammy and KO just because of post Mania. Like the run hasn't been perfect, fantastic.
Right.
It hasn't been the
There's
best.
some good matches, but
They've had some good matches, but I think a lot of it's because they're still in the Bloodline verse. They can't fucking get away from them. So.
We need you back, baby. We can't let the Usos win another one.
This is also a good point, though. I would say Bishamon are a very underrated tag team for some of the work they've done.
I would agree.
But Bishamon has won me over. I used to shit on him.
I like Bishamon.
Yeah, Usos have been fucking. Like, listen, okay, so this year they've wrestled.
Here we go.
They wrestled. Yeah, cage match is up, bro.
Monty's legitimately a Bloodline stand, and he hates when I say it, bro.
We'll just do the tag matches. Okay, so they wrestled in January. Start of January, they wrestled Drew and Sheamus.
Real. That's real graps.
I don't think I ever saw that,
but that's beautiful.
That match was really good, actually. Yeah.
Is this the? Then there was the. You remember the tag title match where Sammy replaces at the end, and he got over fucking huge. There was that one as well. That was also in January. The Braun and Ricochet match in February, which I remember quite vividly. That was really good. Fuck, man. Hold on, bunch of house shows, which all counts as well, people.
Oh yeah, I've got the tapes, brothers.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Yeah, so yeah, they've worked a lot of fucking. Bro, they've worked so many fucking house show matches on the road to WrestleMania. It was basically all. Yeah, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 house show matches on the road to Mania. Then they had the fucking, like one of the best WWE tag matches of all time at Mania with Kyle with Salmon.
That was fire to you?
Come on, bro.
All I'm going to say is this debate will be settled when on July 1st at the O2 Arena, Monty and I sit down in our VIP seats. We throw up the ones.
Oh, it's VIP now.
Oh, trust me, I've seen my bank account, bro. It's VIP. I'll be there in my bloodline tracksuit, you know. And you're going to see something, folks. It may be a freestyle match, which would actually be funnier than if it's great. But just stay tuned. Lock in on that one. July 1st. Circle on the calendar. You're going to see some things.
Speaking of British wrestling expeditions, we got 3 fish and chips ass niggas up here right now. I'm calling you out in front of the WrestlePurist Galaxy. Apply for media for All In, bro. I'm tired of y'all. All right, good. I'm tired of you niggas going to shows and not applying for media.
Charlie, you can apply for media yourself as well. So, obviously, you have more permission to do it under the WrestlePurist site thing. But I think you'd have, even if you wanted a media pass, you would have to then do one for yourself as well. You just got to ask them for this form, and they'll send it you. And I don't
even know how to go about it. Just let me know how to do it, and I'll do it.
Manny done it before.
We were gonna do it for
Manny request. I think it might have been Supercard or Honor or something, and Manny requested a form. Just the idea of that really popped me, you know.
The issue with Manny's application was that he fucking wrote it all out in crayon. What the fuck is this? They just threw it in the trash.
Yeah, tell me how to get these forms, and I'll do one for Forbidden Door as well, because I'm going to be there for that.
You're insane for that, you know.
It's going to be great. Me and Barbara are going. It's going to be great.
You know.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, you should be. That's an awesome trip.
Jesus.
Going back to tag teams quickly, just one last point. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that the Bucks just come in late this year and smash it out of the park. That's my hope. But we'll see what happens.
I don't think they care to be tag team of the year anymore.
Yeah.
Neither do I. It really annoys me.
Tag team of the year every single year if they wanted to. I think they're the greatest tag team of all time. I don't think they care to have the TV banger after TV banger every week like they once did.
Yeah, there's been a different, you can tell there's been a mentality shift then post the big title reign, right? Where it's every time they have a big match, too, they make it very clear, and I don't think they're working out. Those guys, they've been doing this style for a long time now, you know? I think they're happy. I mean, what they're doing now is great because they're actually in, the main event angle of the show, really, right? Yeah. And I think it's cool. Seeing them in Anarchy in the Arena is going to be such a cool deal, and you know they're going to go nuts in that saying, so... it does feel like a different point in their career. It's kind of whatever. We've done that. We've been there and done that. So
I've been there, done that. Got a t-shirt 4 times over.
The first ever
many t-shirts.
Scale breaker. Monty's British ass ain't never let it happen in the past, but this was breaking the scale. I'm telling y'all right now.
Wow, it's gonna be incredible. Giving those guys that freedom is gonna be something. It really is, and it's built up perfect. It's gonna be tremendous.
And I will say, before people say that I'm biased, I don't actually want the Young Bucks to be world tag champions right now, because I think that's a disservice to the story they're telling. And the fact that the Elite have just reunited, putting the belt straight back in with them, after that was such a focal point of them falling apart in the first place, I don't think it's the right move to make right now. So.
And there you have it.
I will say, on the in regards to the Elite being back together, I would like, a couple Kenny and Hangman tags. We spoke a lot about.
They could have the tag belts
AEW for sure. I mean, we've spent a lot of this show talking about AEW tag teams and the great reigns and the not so good. I mean, lest we forget that reign, which was something out of fucking All Japan. That shit was incredible. It was every week they had a great
second
match.
best reign in AEW.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It actually doesn't get nearly enough credit, I think. Because you kind of think of both guys' big singles moments. They were incredible as a team.
100%.
Yeah, really great stuff. Keeping it on the tag teams, fuck it. Lucha Bros, Claudio and Newton, ROH World Tag Team Championship. This could be a WrestlePurist match of the week right here, people.
It really could be. I forgot this was happening. Oh shit!
Well, Roddy versus Daniel Garcia is happening, but this also could be a Wrestle Purist match of the week. You know,
a lot of good matches tonight.
yeah, this one. Like I always said, when it's kind of slipped through the cracks a little bit. This could be fire, bro. Like, this is
Sure. It should be. It'll be incredible. I'd imagine.
Yeah. Any sort of time, even if you give them fucking 2 minutes, bro, they'd fucking figure something out. You know, like even if they got real time, which I'm sure they will, because this is AEW and it's a title match. You know,
When was
I'm
the
ready
last
for this.
time? I genuinely, I'm not asking this because I think it's been a long. I genuinely don't remember. But when's the last time we saw the Lucha Bros on AEW TV in a tag? Has it been a while or not? It feels like that. Yes, yeah, with Hobbs and QT, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that's, to be clear, I don't mean that as a criticism. It's just a novelty to see in the match graphic. And this Claudio Yuta team is so fun. They had a great moment. They wrestled on Ring of Honor TV a couple weeks ago, Rhett and Tracy. And they had that great moment where I think Tracy out-wrestled Yuta and Claudio pulled him over and tagged him as if saying, get the fuck out, what are you doing, man? You know, like, I love that big brother, little brother dynamic they have. So this is going to be great, absolutely.
We've got House of Black versus Blake Christian and
Wait,
Fox.
real quick, people are saying that this should be on Ring of Honor, where I don't necessarily disagree.
Absolutely.
You know that there's going to be like a post-match angle with like BCC trying to beat down the Lucha Bros and then the Elite coming out for the save. Like, that's why it's on Dynamite. Would be my guess.
I get it completely. And like, yes, in theory, it should absolutely be on Ring of Honor, but there's a big part of me that's just like, I mean, this is going to make the show infinitely better, though, you know? Like, that's where the Ring of Honor thing's always tough for me. It's like, I'm really torn because I want Ring of Honor to matter and stand on its own. And to do that, those things do have to, I get it. But at the same time, do any of us really want, like, Claudio's, you know, non-elite feud matches to be tied to Ring of Honor only? It's like, I want to just see him wrestling wherever I can get Claudio wrestling. Same with the Lucha Bros, whoever. Like, I'm always torn on that, too. I don't know.
People saying that this should be in Ring of Honor is just evidence that wrestling fans, people in general, but especially wrestling fans, will complain about literally anything and everything. Shut the fuck up, bro. It's going to be a great match. Enjoy it. Shut up. You know, I just looked it up. The Lucha Bros' last straight up tag team match that was on Dynamite was versus Swerve and Our Glory in September.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow, that's incredible.
A long time ago.
That match ruled. Do you remember that they announced that last minute?
That was a great match.
I loved that booking because it was like they knew Swerve and Our Glory was going to split soon. So let's get this one last great tag match before they drop the belts and stuff, you know, because we hadn't got that one. Yeah, that's awesome.
House of Black versus Black Christian AR Fox and Metal League AEW Trios Championship Open House match. Open House rules, which is, you know, we get the lights. We get the spotlighted ring. We get the
get your Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I doubt this is going to be, especially with all the other matches on the show, and they've got some, you know, some go home angles that they need to be doing. I doubt this is going to be like the most expansive, you know, match going. Could be witnessing a murder live on TV. You know. I guess it's keeping House of Black active. And
I think
TV,
it's another means to an end to setting up a match on Double or Nothing. I think there's going to be a post-match beatdown, and the Acclaimed are going to make the save here, and that will be your trios match at Double or Nothing.
I'd like them to work this more. The match they had with Bandito and Chuck and Trent, that was the last match they had, right?
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
It was like a good match, but you could tell the crowd they don't really need to see the House of Black get a heat segment. The House of Black are going to get cheered regardless of what they do because they're too dynamic. Like, people just like that act. And I think this match would be a good one to really, like, have some fun with a kind of 6-7 minute runtime and just go, like, all action, you know, do all of the sequence and stuff, have everything going at once. Because I don't think the appeal of House of Black is to have them work, you know, a traditional build up to that. It's like, with these three guys, do a sprint, you know, and have them feed a couple false finishes. But I think it could be really fun if they do that. We'll see, though. I'm sure it'll be good regardless.
I think that's the idea that people have for the trios division in general. It's just like go, 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 go. Because there's so many bodies, you have so much rest times. Like, everybody could just sprint high speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hopefully, this trio's belts we can cook something, what else we got? We got Taya Valkyrie versus Lady Frost. Obviously, that's in just kind of something for Taya on the way to her rematch with Jade. Lady Frost is good though, man. Lady
Yeah.
Frost is
She
good.
should
I think
definitely
this
do a
could be
bunch of
good.
cool flips on TV. If you
hmm
know me, you know I like flips.
Yeah, man, you do. But again, like the last match we was talking about, I doubt this is going to be like the most expansive long thing. But I'm sure Lady Frost
Yeah.
will, she'll do some of the flips that AO likes, and and she'll make a good account of herself again because, like I said, she's good, man. And Taya's good as well, man. So yeah. What else we got? And second from last, we will hear from Ricky Starks. Yeah, man, he's probably somewhat with Jay White. You'd expect, maybe. I don't know.
You'd hope.
And yeah, like I said, I like Ricky Starks' promos most of the time because he gets over. People get behind him and stuff, and when he has a point to hit, he usually makes it pretty well. Like I said, it gets over and stuff. So if him and Jay White, if it does end up becoming the in ring something in ring with Jay White that people have been waiting for fucking the whole time he's been with the company,
Yeah.
that would be cool, man. So that's kind of that's what I'd be hoping for. That this isn't just kind of like a 20-second pre-tape of Ricky Starks, because it is absolutely possible that that's what it could be. Because AEW have done this many times in the past, where they like advertise something before the show, and it gets to the show and it's a 30-second pre-tape. It's like,
Go hear
alright.
from so and such backstage with Alex Marvez. All right, thanks, bro.
SRS just said that WWE and AEW are trying to sign Aussie Open. I'll make sure that first one don't happen.
We might need the Usos, man. Charlie.
Oh, now hold on. Now hold on.
SummerSlam needs its tag title match. That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes there's wrestlers that I like, and even though it would make all the sense in the world for them to go to AEW, such as Aussie Open, but the idea of them making $500,000 a year each and wrestling the Usos on pay-per-view,
You want to see them wrestle fucking Pretty Deadly so bad, man.
don't. This is this.
You want to see them work
you have to go
so
too
bad,
far. You know what I mean?
Like,
You have to.
bro.
Come on. Stop it.
We've had this whole conversation about the AEW tag division, and Aussie Open have always been like the obvious answer, and the uncertainty there has been like, how does that work with New Japan politically? Because New Japan are so weird, but that's like they operate on like a show by show. It's like, can AEW sign them? I never understood that dynamic. If it makes a lot of sense, right? It almost makes too much sense. They've already been used on Ring of Honor and AEW a bunch, so that would be my guess, and that seems like the perfect place for them. So, yeah. That's probably what we'll see.
Yeah, Aussie Open. When I was at FTR, the tag team of the year, and people, it really popped me how everyone was like, well, in 2023. I was like, bro, come on. Obviously wasn't
2023 we're saying it's Aussie. Yo, we're saying that they're reigning, as in last year.
I can't believe how many people took it. I was like, what is going on?
No, FTR is nowhere near tag team of the year this year. What the fuck?
Yeah, man, Aussie Open, they're killing it, man. And like Charlie said earlier, if one of probably are the tag team of the year. I mean, it's just massive shame that Mark Davis has gone down right now. But luckily, it's not. Like, there was a few knee injuries last week that got announced. It's like fucking Dakota Cole got an ACL tear, and she's gone for like 6 to 9 months, maybe longer.
More bro, everybody who's blown their ACL recently has been gone a year. Just straight up a year. Stellan is going on a year now. Who was out for a year recently in WWE? Bailey was out for 14 months.
Yeah.
So they're not really like.
It takes a while to
ACLs now.
Yep. It takes a while to get back too, right? If you watch the people that do have it always takes. You can see it's a good few months before they look the same. So it's tough.
Bailey struggled when she just got back.
Yeah.
But she's definitely picked it up nowadays. But.
I hope Aussie Open get paid.
Yeah,
they will.
At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. I hope they get paid because they deserve it. But
that's what I mean. That's the first thing. That's the first thing I think when I see like this news drop. Like, if I seem a bit distracted, I'm just doing the tweet now on
Look, they're going to do great
world famous
regardless.
WrestlePurist page. Yeah.
Aussie Open, if you're gonna go to Stanford, just wait for the Elite to make their move. You feel me? Just make sure that's what we're doing. Because if that's what the Elite's
You're
doing,
a piece of shit.
then I'm going as well. You feel me? But if they're not going up there, then Aussie Open, just think about what you're doing with your futures right now. Think about what Vince McMahon is gonna have for you creatively. You know what I mean?
Please, I don't want to think about what they would be doing creatively if they were putting NXT.
That Kangaroo Jack
Actually
gimmick
gives
is
me
gonna be
nightmares.
amazing. Yeah,
Okay, so sorry to interrupt, but without giving away the story that Sean has literally just dropped, because I'm not in the business doing that. You know, I don't know if many people are fucking have noticed, but even when I aggregate Fight for Select, I do wait like a good 45 minutes to an hour. So like, you know, the people who actually pay for the news can kind of like get the money's worth out of it and shit if they follow us as well. But anyway, what I will give away though is that the title of the article is AEW confident they will sign free agent act with WWE interest.
Oh, cool.
Charlie.
I mean,
Charlie.
it feels like it feels like something they may have discussed with them before, right? Would be I feel like that's not a crazy guess based on how much they've been around. So
I just hope all of this Gaijin signing doesn't put a strain on AEW and New Japan's relationship.
I think
if that's going to be the case, I don't really think signing all these people is worth it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, because that was Harold's issue with AEW signing and starting in the first place. Like, oh, they're gonna poach all their talent. They want to run us out of business. We're trying to do this North American expansion, which they pretty much put a pin in kind of at this point. But
yeah,
I think because Aussie Open are doing all of the stuff in America right now, and they've just been everywhere. Like, you can't like look at a show at the moment and be like, well, Aussie Open are on it. Like, I think signing with AEW now would put them in a really good place to continue doing their New Japan tours. They could have. That's crazy. That's crazy. I think signing with AEW now would have them in a really good position to continue with like what they're doing with New Japan anyways, and I want to see them get the New Japan belts back as well. And if they're going to do that thing of, oh, we're going to let an AEW have talent have the New Japan belts, if Aussie Open sign, there's your answer to that as well. So
yeah, 100%.
Exciting times. Or
Shout out Aussie Open. Hopefully they get paid. It'd be pretty fair to assume at this point that AEW would be, the favourites. But we'll see how it plays out, because at the end of the day, WWE could just fucking. I don't know. Well, they're not going to throw $1 million at them, but like, they could throw something crazy at them. You never know.
Yeah.
But they are also in the middle of they're in a transitional period themselves of a company. So
they're a fantastic talent, but like, who the fuck are Aussie Open to WWE fans?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. That's not saying that I don't think they definitely could get over on television in WWE, but there's a lot of variables there, because it's just like with someone like Jay White, like WWE fans who, all those guys who were like doing the celebration and shit on Twitter, a lot of them never seen him wrestle, but they knew that, oh my god, this is a huge star.
Yeah. We
need him. This would be a big blow to WWE to AEW. Like, I don't think that's necessarily the case with Aussie Open.
Yeah, they're one of those acts that like you can't quite see the fit there in WWE. I can't anyway. But a few years ago, would have gone there just because they're that good and it's inevitable. But now that AEW just feels like such a natural fit, right? In every which way, like it lines up. So I'd be very surprised personally.
All right, so let's start winding down. We've got a few super chats. We've got a couple last things that I want to touch on. Obviously, the main thing, of course, from Dynamite and the big news story will be Tony Khan's announcement of the venue of AEW Collision, which, especially now over the past fucking day or so, pretty much everybody is unanimously seems to believe that it is going to be the United Center.
Oh,
which shut the fuck up, man! Please
I thought it was Daly's place.
So, all right, since you fucking brought the fucking Daly's place, you brought the Daly's place horse shit to the fucking conversation. There was reports from certain places that was saying that Daly's place was a potential venue because there was these issues with CM Punk, and there was also same people from the place the report came from, and they were really pushing that there was really this really strong possibility that Punk's got these issues and it's so up in the air right now and no one knows what's going on, and it was like, alright man, the report then got pretty much debunked a couple times. I believe it was yesterday. There was a report from Nick Hausman. It was like, people believe that Punk is going to be there, and it's going to be all sweet. And Phil, even though it wasn't really like a written report, but he did like say that he had heard that is like bullshit sort of thing. And then that's kind of been what has been accepted, but that is bullshit now by pretty much anyone who's got kind of any sort of information on this situation, I guess. It's been said many times now. Then the one that popped me was Brian Alvarez's tweet of earlier, where it was just kind of, well, it looks like what is the tweet, bro? Because it really was.
Yeah, I saw the tweet. I can't remember what it said.
Appears everything's clear for lift off tonight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a few hours before fucking. But
what a worker.
Yeah, really a bit of a mess of the situation with that like Daly's place roommate. It was clearly not something that was like double checked or confirmed and was kind of just thrown out there. But it's wrestling media, man. Fucking rumors and shit goes around and stuff, but it's looking like United Center. That's the long and short of it. And any worries that you guys might have had over the past few days because of certain reports were kind of like, you ain't got to worry about them anymore. So yeah, we're looking like the United Center debut of Collision. I wonder what the ticket movement will be like. I'm sure Tony and even CM Punk himself may be fucking wondering how that's going to turn out, because the ticket movement so far has been very I don't want to say terrible, because it's like for like 6 shows or whatever it is. They just dropped the tickets and there's nothing announced from them and stuff, and I'm sure a lot of people are waiting for the Punk announcement, but they aren't exactly they're nothing to get excited about right now. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of shift there is. But yeah, man, Collision. Tony Khan finally announcing the venue that apparently was clearly meant to have been announced last week. But there was a few last things that needed to be confirmed, it appears. This is also according to reports. Don't take just my word for it. But like I said, there wasn't like any like major fucking crazy issues or anything. It was just more of a thing like there was a few things that needed confirming. Yeah. And as we know with AEW, because we've seen it with like releases and we've seen it with other things as well, like because of just the way that AEW is, and I've always said it even to this day, like we're like in year 3 or 4 now with them, like they are still like insanely new to all this, and they don't have like the structure and shit that like a company like WWE has, like a super corporate thing. And sometimes things slip through the cracks at AEW, and some shit gets left to the last minute that maybe shouldn't have, or like I said, slips through the cracks, and it's just one of those things. But it seems like everyone seems pretty confident Punk's going to be there next week. No, not next week. June 17th at the United Center. So yeah, moving forward as planned. It seems.
It's unfortunate. Monty, we got 3 minutes and a bunch of super chats.
Yeah, we'll quick fire. I can do this quick fire business. You ready? Mavs fan 8 for $1.99. You think OC could ever win the world championship? Potentially on a short-term reign.
Yeah, a short.
Brainbuster $1.99. Last OC defense before Rouge kills him at Double or Nothing. Fingers crossed. Rouge is amazing.
I'd rather be a traditional singles match, honestly.
Yeah. Do it on the TV after. I'd rather he not lose in a battle.
They could pull a Royal Rumble with Cody Gunther and anything like that, where there's like a real match at the end of the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Frank $1.99. Danny, get ready, brother. It's different. Quoting the great Joe Hulbert right there.
Hands up, kid.
Joytown Spurs $2. Bucks versus Lethal and Jarrett would be brilliant. Of course it would. Yep. Absolutely, of course it would. Ben Ben Dixon, $5 Australian. Appreciate it as always. Will anything on Double or Nothing get a big apart from Mark Briscoe ejecting Karen Jarrett from ringside? That's a really good shout, to be honest.
That's
You
that's
might
going
be
to go
right.
huge.
Because she's going to sell it so well as well.
100%. Yeah.
Massam 84 199 again. Golden Lovers tag team of the year when Ibushi debuts. Absolutely a
I'm not
possibility.
opposed.
You know, I'm not opposed to it at all. Ben Dixon $2 Australian. Appreciate you again. What would Aussie Open NXT names be?
Kangaroo Express.
No, they would stay as Aussie Open. They'd just come out in like tennis outfits or some shit. You know,
the literal Aussie Opens.
Ariel 199 Dynamite tonight. Lol. Joe Stroker pose.
No.
See, I told you, bro. Look at that. I'm throwing. Anyway, since it's in the title, quick thoughts on a possible 3-hour SmackDown that Nick Khan
That'd be
said
bad.
WWE would be open to.
It would be bad.
Terrible.
That'd be
Terrible.
crazy. It would have to start at
3-hour
7.
weekly TV should be like illegal.
Death of SmackDown.
You know?
It would have to start at 7 p.m. because you can't move network news, which comes on right after SmackDown. So that would be nasty business, bro.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I think he was even said he's open. He's Nick Khan was saying stuff like, please excuse me because I'm paraphrasing and stuff like. I think he was saying he would be open to like moving Raw off Mondays, 3-hour SmackDown, shifting everything around. It's like, bro, Nick's made the company a lot of money, and you know, I've kind of put over a lot of his like business decisions in terms of like the international pay-per-views and like the all the praise and stuff that he gets. But fucking hell, brother, you know,
There's no way moving Raw off Mondays is best for business. I don't care. Like Monday Night Football always destroys them, right? That's a given. But like that's been like a TV staple for like 40 years now. Monday Night Raw, you can't just that'd be dumb.
That's the. All right, let's get out of here then. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, as always. I appreciate all the super chats, always massively appreciated. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We need those. We appreciate those just as much as well. Tomorrow, Dynamite review. You will be joined by myself, Mr. Hulbert, Charlie, and Manny the Hooper, who has just sent us a super chat as we're closing up. 199 saying, you see the picture I sent you, Monty? I haven't, and now I'm worried. But yeah, man, everyone, shout out to yourself for sticking with us through this whole podcast, and we're going to get out of here. Peace.
Appreciate y'all.
See ya.